Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for joining me on the Angry Truth channel. So today's video, we're going to talk about the NYPD reform legislations that were passed Thursday. This included five bills and 3 resolutions, which provides additional oversight and more transparency to the NYPD. All this bill really means is that NYPD is officially fucked. They're screwed. They are now being hung out to dry. I mean, they were being hung out to dry fucking about 2-3 years ago. They're really being hung out to dry now, because in these 5 bills and 3 resolutions, one of the more important ones that are in there, the city is now ending qualified immunity, which means that cops are no longer covered by the city if a civil lawsuit was to pop up against them. So if some asshole who got roughed up during an arrest wants to arrest Officer Hansen, Officer Hansen now has to either A, go to the union to get a lawyer, a paid lawyer by the union, or B, pay for a lawyer on his own, which is, very, very expensive, especially here in New York City. So the cops are officially fucked, because now what do? If they do something and somebody gets hurt, they can get sued. If they don't do something and someone gets hurt, they can get sued. They are between a rock and a hard place, or steel for that matter. They're between rock and steel at this point, because there's no wiggle room. Part of this legislation includes the CCRB, which is the Civilian Complaint Review Board. They review cops who are in trouble, who do something bad, stupid, whatever it is. And these civilians, legitimate civilians, will look at each case and go, okay, Officer Hansen, he's in trouble for X, Y, and Z. Officer Yamira, she's in trouble for X, Y, and Z. And then they give a recommendation to the police commissioner as to how they should be reprimanded. And the police commissioner could agree with them or disagree with them. What they did now is they took that power away from the police commissioner, and now the CCRB, the Civilian Complaint Review Board, can now hand out punishments with no problem. And no one can argue against it other than the cop's lawyer. The cop's job lawyer. Sorry. That's the other thing too. Sorry. Now thinking about it, if the cop's in trouble and he has to go before the Civilian Review Board, the cop does send a union representative to sit with him, if I'm not mistaken, because that's how it runs with us in FD. But if he gets civilly sued on the outside, the union is going to flip the bill for the lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong and you're an NYPD cop, please put the correct situation that involves in the comment section below. So part of this reform, it now states that these reforms are going to protect people from excessive use of force. It's going to protect them from unwarranted searches. Keep in mind, if a cop sees a bulge and he checks the perp, and the perp has a 9mm on him, the perp can be like, well, what prompted him to search me? And then there goes that case right out the window. Now, here in New York, for those of you that haven't known or not following, they are letting criminals go left and right. There's a criminal right now, he was in the paper today. He was released 4 times, 4 gun charges, and I think he even held up somebody in one of those charges. And he's been released 4 times within a year and a half. It's a free-for-all here. The crime is going to get exponentially bad, because if you're releasing dudes after they're committing crimes and no bail, what's the incentive to keep them from doing bad shit? Nothing. So this statement is from a collaborative correspondent, Jennifer Jones Austin, who stated this: "We believe the plan ratified today by the City Council reflects the theme brought forward with reform that center squarely on bringing an end to such policing, criminalization of poverty, and the lack of transparency and accountability in the NYPD." This is a civilian. Some asshole, they said, hey, you want to be part of this board? You probably have no fucking, no business doing this, but fuck it. Let's bring you into this. And then this fucking idiot's making comments as if cops are running around beating folks up because they're poor and black. Nah, it doesn't exist. Nonetheless, this is the bullshit we have to deal with the liberals in this city. The stupidity of them. The stupidity and the shit they say. And it's infectious, guys. Their outlook on people committing crimes here in the city is infectious, because they're like, well, he did it because he's poor and black and he had no choice. So yes, he robbed that lady for $25. It was just $25. She should have let it go. She didn't have to hang on to it. You know, that's why he hit her in the head repeatedly, so she let go. If she would have let go, he would have got the $25 without hurting her. This is the kind of shit we're headed to. These are the kind of defenses they're going to start bringing up on these fucking criminals. They're going to make the criminals look like the good guy and the good Samaritan look like the bad guy. Or the victim look like the bad guy, sorry. So the police commissioner, he is dead against this. I think I stated that earlier, and if I did, I'm stating it again. He is dead against this. He thinks this is bad. I could see him turning his badge in. He's got enough time. He doesn't have to deal with this bullshit. But if he stays and fight, they can't kick him out. And if other officers stand behind him, then de Blasio's at a crossroads. But we'll see what these guys do. I have a feeling these cops are not, the higher up, the high table cops, if you will, the commissioner down to one of the chiefs, the lowest chief on that platform, they're not going to stand behind them because they're cowards for the most part. They're fucking yes men. The police commissioner, Dermot Shea, absolutely said something against what maybe de Blasio wanted him to say, which is great, but he needs to do more. He needs to fucking step up. They all need to step up. Hell, cops right now need to be throwing their badges in the drawer and walking off the job. They absolutely need to strike. Fuck the Taylor law. Fuck it. The Taylor law is not going to bring you guys home. It's not going to keep you guys safe. Just keep that in mind. I would absolutely, if I was a cop, I'd be forming up a bunch of dudes to strike. Yo, let's get the fuck out of here. Fuck this. We don't need this. We don't. Or we could show the city what it's going to look like without us. They can do that too. So this statement I'm about to read came from Pat Lynch, who is the president of the NYPD union. He states, New Yorkers are getting shot. Police officers are getting out on the street all day, all night, trying to stop the bloodshed. Why are these city council members safe at home behind their screens and dreaming up new ways to give criminals a free pass? It won't get better unless New Yorkers shame the politicians into doing their jobs. He's absolutely right. Now, me personally, I think, Pat Lynch is just a loudmouth. He screams, he yells. I don't think he's directing the officers to do what needs to be done. And what needs to be done now is striking. Now, I said that before, and a couple cops are like, yeah, but if we strike, more people are going to get hurt. More cops are going to get hurt and killed if you guys don't do something. Anything. But you can't go along with this reform legislation. You can't. It is the death of NYPD if you do. So guys, this is just again, a little more in depth than what I did on the Angry Prepper channel on the reform for the NYPD here. Now it's not technically defunding NYPD, though I so happened to accidentally pop up on a page that says NYFD or defund NYPD. And I'm like, really? So I go on the page a little bit, and again, it's a bunch of dumb liberals fucking talking about they want immediate action now. They want power transfer over to the people so the people could police their own. I'm like, it doesn't work that way, because that's how policing started. Policing started in any civilization, the people policing their own, policing their neighborhoods, making sure criminals weren't coming in stealing horses, cows, and goats and shit like that. That's how policing started, and then it grew into something bigger. And this is where we are now. Police forces throughout the nation, or the world, rather, right? Because there's some order needs to be kept. Without cops, there is no order. Criminals run wild, right? So, again, guys, the police reform is the death of NYPD. If NYPD doesn't stand up to this, if they don't do something, they have to do something. They can't let politicians who are sitting safely in their homes, being guarded by guns, having fences put up to protect them, tell cops how they can act on the street with animals misbehaving, or animals shooting at cops, or animals beating and killing their kids. You can't tell them how to act with those kind of people. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. Like and subscribe to this channel. You can also head over to the Angry Prepper channel. Like and subscribe to that. As the Angry Truth, you can follow me on Instagram, and as the Angry Prepper, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.